Hey friends, welcome back to Jesus and Java, a series of short videos where we unpack the books of the New Testament in a way that's fun, fresh, and full of faith. And today, we're diving into the Gospel of Mark, the shortest, most action-packed gospel in the New Testament. If Matthew is like a royal announcement, Mark is like a fast-paced action movie. There's no time for long introductions, no detailed genealogy, just Jesus in action. So grab your Bible, get comfy, and let's jump in. Before we dive into Mark's Gospel, let's talk about the guy who wrote it. Mark, also known as John Mark, wasn't one of Jesus's 12 disciples, but he was closely connected to Peter and Paul. In fact, most scholars believe that Mark's Gospel is actually Peter's eyewitness account of Jesus's life. That means this book is like a first-hand report straight from one of Jesus's closest followers. Here's something else cool. Mark's Gospel is written for the Romans, a people who valued power, action, and authority. That's why Mark focuses on what Jesus does rather than what he says. It's all about movement. All right, let's get into it. Mark's Gospel doesn't waste a single second. Unlike Matthew and Luke, Mark skips Jesus' birth entirely and jumps straight into his baptism, temptation, and calling of the first disciples, all in the first chapter. In just 20 verses we see, John the Baptist prepares the way, Jesus is baptized, Jesus is tempted by Satan, Jesus starts preaching, Jesus calls his first disciples. Talk about fast-paced. Mark loves action. That's why he focuses on Jesus' miracles more than his teachings. Jesus heals a paralyzed man, Mark 2. Jesus calms the storm, Mark 4. Jesus feeds 5,000 people, Mark 6. Jesus walks on water, Mark 6. And Mark often uses the word immediately to keep the momentum going over 40 times in just 16 chapters. The defining moment in Mark's Gospel, for me at least, is when Jesus asks his disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And Peter replies, "You are the Messiah." But instead of celebrating, Jesus shocks them by saying that he will suffer, be rejected, and die. This moment flips their expectations upside down. And if there's one verse that sums up Mark, it's this. "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Jesus' mission isn't about power, it's about sacrifice. Mark's Gospel rushes toward Jesus' death and resurrection. But here's what's interesting. Mark ends abruptly. The last words spoken at the empty tomb are, "He has risen, he is not here." And that's it. No post-resurrection appearances. It's like Mark is asking, what will you do with this story? So, why does Mark matter today? Here are 3 big lessons from Mark. 1. Jesus is a man of action. Faith isn't just about words, it's about living it out. 2. The gospel is urgent. Mark doesn't waste time, and neither should we. Jesus calls us to follow him now. 3. Jesus is the suffering servant. True greatness is found in serving others, not in power. All right, friends, that's a wrap on the Gospel of Mark. Here's your challenge. Go read it this week. It's the shortest gospel, and you can finish it in one sitting. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, leave a review, and share it with a friend, and click the bell to get notifications of when the next episode is ready. Until next time, stay curious, stay faithful, and keep diving into the good news. And may the Lord our God bless you all.